Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. Depends where you're watching it. Depends when you're watching it. Hope you're having a good walk. A nice cup of tea, maybe. Maybe you're in the bath. I don't know. Do people still have baths these days? If you are,
I had one earlier.
Did you enjoy your bath?
I always enjoy my bath. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a little, like where we got like a cupboard, a vanity unit, right? I'll tell you what I do, right? So I open the cupboard under the basin, right? And then I stick my phone in like that, so it loops over, right? So it sits like that, and that bit sits in the cupboard. And I lay back in the bath and I watch YouTube.
YouTube, of course it is.
I was watching you in the bath, actually.
Thank you. YouTube, of course it is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you something. It's you. YouTube, yeah, YouTube, definitely.
Brilliant. Right, coming up on tonight's show, use viewers' questions for the show's content. We've done that. We've got your questions. You were making the content for tonight because there's not much news. The title of this cup of tea, Gonzo doesn't know it. The cup of tea tonight is Bored, Skint, and that's just us.
We are bored. It's true.
Tell them about upcoming giveaways. We'll go on to that. Inform them about new podcast with Gonzo and our new Patron offer at the end of the show. We'll ignore that till the end of the show. Play a clip from James. That's coming up in the middle. Ask Gonzo how he is at the start of the show. Gonzo, how are you?
I'm very clean, thank you, Geo. and refreshed. I've got a waft of tea tree about me. How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually. I'm still on like happy mode from Scotland qualifying for the Euros. To be honest with you, we got beat on Sunday. It was a rubbish game. I really did not care.
I'm not going to say it, so I'm going to say it for you because there's nothing you can do about it now because we're live. You've got your channel. And you've got a video up on your channel.
Oh yeah, I do.
I'm sorry. There you go. It's got to be done. I know you weren't going to do it. So there you go. Tartan Geo, the channel.
Yeah, it's Tartan Geo. Yes, I mean you can guess where the name came from.
He'll say put the link below, but he won't put the link below. So search it on YouTube, not the other you thing that I was watching in the bath. In fact, you probably get set quite different on that.
It's called. I think it's something. Cock under the kilt. It's called.
It's one of my favourites. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but Tartan Geo, type it into YouTube. It's Geo's channel. He's talking about Premier League. I'm going to say what he's doing on there, but he won't say it. So go and subscribe.
Well, I will appreciate those that do venture over and subscribe. Mass thanks to Charlie for editing the video. So the first one's gone up, the first proper one's gone up, and I appreciate if you go have a look. Anyway, tonight we've got your questions, your topics, and we're going to go through them as well. We've got a clip coming up as well. It's a first for our cup of tea. We pre-recorded it on Saturday with a viewer. We'll explain more as we go. We've got a couple of giveaways coming up, not during the show. I can tell you what they are. And how to get involved in them as well. I've got one of them sitting there. It's quite good actually. And then we've got an offer on our Patreon and a new series coming out with myself and Gonzo. I don't know what way you are. You're not that way. You're that way. Myself and Gonzo.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Myself and Gonzo. Anyway, right. So we'll start with the questions from our patrons. Tom White says, "It's clear we need a new striker in January. If we could bring anyone in that's realistic, who would it be and why? For him, it's Adam Armstrong."
Well, he's really good. I think Adam Armstrong used to be at Newcastle. I think he was at Newcastle, and I remember him. I don't know if it was under 23 game or something. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, he's very fast, very very fast, and I think he's a little bit of a slow burner in terms of he was the future about 4 years ago, if you know what I mean, and it appears now that only I'm seeing his name. Coming back up. So I saw him sort of 3 or 4 years ago, and then I've not seen anything of him, and now I know he's scoring again this season. But I really liked what I saw when I saw him, back in the day, so to speak. But he's still a young player.
Yeah, he's early 20s. He was scoring last season as well. He scored quite a lot last season for Blackburn as well. So he's just continued to form into this one. It's a good shout, actually. Is there anyone you'd like to see bring in specifically, Gons, or out of ideas?
I did see us linked with that Marega again today, and when he was, because he's a big old lump, isn't he? And when he was on, I think for free, I'll take him. It looks like he's running down his contract. He might be available for free. It was only a season and a half. We were linked to him at 30 million, but he's too old. He's 28. He's about 29, 30 years of age. But on a free, I think you bring him in. I still reckon Moyes is kicking himself for not being able to bring in Ollie Watkins, because the more I see of him, I just think, oh, okay, this guy's really good. He's so full of energy. He'd fit into our system so well. I haven't seen. I know they're bottom of the league because we did a quiz the other day and I sold their bottom of the league. But they signed Brewster, didn't they? Sheffield United. So I haven't seen anything of Sheffield United. I guess we're going to have a look. If he hasn't been scoring, he probably will get a hat trick against us when we play them. But whenever I saw him, and I saw him on loan, he was at Swansea, wasn't he? And every time I saw him, I thought he looked a good player. So that's the sort of player I would have liked to have seen us bring in. Antonio, he's the main man. It'd be wrong to bring anyone else and not be the main man, but to actually say to somebody, look, you are Antonio's understudy, and you are probably going to play in starts and substitute appearances. You're probably going to play 20 times this season. That's what I would have liked to have seen us do. And Armstrong maybe would have fit into that category.
Yeah, in January, I don't know, I'm not too fussed if we don't go for a striker, providing we're not in a relegation battle, that is, providing we pick up adequate points between now and January and we're looking comfortable. I think I'd use Bowen as a second striker, in all honesty. I think I'd nudge him up front and say, because Bowen can run the channels. He's not as physical as Antonio, but he certainly is mobile, if not even more mobile. And then that allows you to play two of Benrahma, Lanzini and Fornals behind him. And I think I'd rather just save the money for next summer, to be honest with you, and get a clearer view. I think buying a striker now, unless we sell Sebastian Haller, it's almost like, is he going to play? Whoever you bring in, is he going to play? And if he does, it means Sebastian Haller is not playing, and therefore his value is depreciating every single game that the other guy starts. And I think I'd rather just keep it as it is and keep the squad as similar as possible, so that Moyes gets a full season to really evaluate every single player, give Haller as many chances as possible. So come the end of the season, Moyes has got 10, 15 games there to look at, not just 3 or 4 starts here and there and a few sub appearances. He needs a proper data pool for every single player in our squad to look at, then start making the squad his own as of next summer. So for January, not just striker, for every position, unless there's something needing fixed up, I probably wouldn't do much, to be honest with you. Mike, he's speaking about Christmas Day. He says beer, wine or something else on Christmas Day.
In all honesty, I rarely drink on Christmas Day. It would be a Boxing Day thing, because I cook the dinner, Mike. I'm the one that cooks the dinner, and as anybody that knows me well will testify. Once I have a few beers, once I've stopped being excitable, I fall asleep.
A beer.
I fall asleep. So no, I find I just can't do Christmas Day with the kids' presents and the rest of it. Then cook the dinner and all the rest of it. If I start drinking, I know some people do. They start drinking while they're. But I'm just not good enough at drinking to be cooking and drinking, because I'll be asleep by the time it happens. But I will have a drink on Boxing Day when I feel I haven't got to do anything. When it's when it's cold turkey and everything else that's left over. That's when I kick back, and it would be a beer. I don't drink wine, mate. I can't stand wine.
Nothing for me. I'm not a Christmas Day person. I don't like Christmas Day. I only drink socially, and I am not sociable most of the days, particularly not on Christmas Day. So I do not drink on Christmas Day. I couldn't tell you last time I had alcohol on Christmas Day. The other question for Mike is, what is the last time you saw a home game on Boxing Day? I assume he means attended.
Do you know what? I don't know. I think it was down there where my folks live, so it would have been either Bournemouth or Southampton or something. I've got it in my mind. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's New Year's Day or something like that. I definitely remember a Christmassy type game, either Bournemouth or Southampton. You'd have to have a look and see when that was. I can't remember. Well, of course, I don't remember going to London Stadium for one. There hasn't been one, has there? That's why I don't remember it. In which case, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
I've never been to one. Because of where I live. For me to get there, I'd probably have to fly down on Christmas Eve or something.
No, there's no way. No.
So I've never been to a home game on Boxing Day. Ray says, if you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
I would like to know who didn't put the lid back on the pepper properly in my cupboard, because I was making some noodles, right? I was making a stir fry, and I pulled the pepper down from the cupboard, and I went to just put a little bit in, but the lid wasn't properly on. And I'm not joking, the whole pepper, a whole tub of white pepper, ground white pepper, went in. I had to throw it all away, and we ended up eating up beans on toast. That is what I would like to know. Everyone denies it. I'm sure it's a practical joke. I reckon one of the kids, because it was upside down, the lid of the pepper pot had come off and it was upside down, but it looked like it was on, but it wasn't. That's what I'd like to know. The mystery of the pepper pot. Which child sabotaged me?
I think you've wasted your question there, to be honest with you.
Well, you may well. It's important to me.
I think of all the questions in the world, I think you completely wasted it.
It's important to me. What was yours?
Plus, you could probably work it out without. I mean, I'm a slight advantage. I know your children's ages. I can rule out one child immediately.
Yes, you can't read. Yeah.
Through the process of elimination, you can rule out children.
I've got my ideas who it is. Yeah. See, the thing is, they know I'm the only one that eats white pepper in the house. Everyone else has the grindy stuff. I like the
So
cheap,
for them
crap.
to do that, they've not used input back. So they've on purpose tricked you. So they've pranked you here.
They have pranked me. That's what I'm saying. I want to know who.
I thought you were saying one of them's used it and put it back in correctly.
No, they're allowed to use the pepper. They wouldn't like it anyway. No, they pranked me. They've pranked me.
Brilliant.
yeah, hilarious.
Brilliant.
I mean, beans on toast. I think I've got my suspicions, but I'd like to know. That's what I'd like to know. Yeah. Why would you want to know?
I want to know the same thing now, so that I can reward said child.
See, you thought it was going to be something profound. You want to know, how did the universe start and stuff like that. No, I want to know who did the pepper prank.
I think I would like to know. Is William Wallace real? Do you know all these legends of the past?
Well, he's real. He's a historical character.
How do you know? Someone one day could have made a book about someone and said, this is the historical figure, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, everybody that knows it's not real is dead. All that's left is this book that tells us that it's a fact that this person existed.
If you've got one book, if you have got numerous records from that particular time, which I think you probably will have for William Wallace, then I think it's pretty clear that they're real. There are other people that may not.
There will be people that's made up that everyone believes is real because no one's told us differently. We've all just believed it. I say we've all.
100%.
They believed it back then. It just got passed down.
Yeah, I think what you've got with William Wallace, I think he was such a pain in the arse to the English. England was so good at documenting everything back then that there's so much documentation for William Wallace's existence that he definitely did exist. But there are certainly others who I wouldn't dare mention on here. But yeah, there are some.
I wonder who's fake. I wonder who's made up. There's definitely people we've heard of that just never existed.
There's 100%.
But we just don't know because we've always just been told this and we've always gone, yeah, all right, cheers, mate, we'll go along with that, thank you. Ben says, if you could take a West Ham player from the Upton Park era and put them in the current squad, who would it be?
Oh. What do we need? What do we need? A striker. I would take. Okay, my instinct was Dean Ashton. Dean Ashton ain't playing in this system as well as we would like.
Yeah, but I think he's talking about anyone, though.
Upton Park era.
Okay, right, yeah.
Upton Park era, yeah. I mean, there's no point in taking Jeff Hurst and shoehorn. I didn't see Jeff Hurst play.
I was going to say this. This is why I would take him because I've never seen him play.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good in the air, Jeff Hurst, wasn't he? Apparently, well, I've seen footage of him and stuff like that. So good at heading. Apparently could really pass it. The best passer of the ball you've ever seen with his head and stuff like that. That being, what do we need? We need someone that's really mobile, who's a workhorse up front, who doesn't stop running. Carlos Tevez. Carlos Tevez in the current system.
Yeah.
Under David Moyes.
I think I'd pick someone like Bob Moore because I've obviously never seen him play. Just so I could see him play. Is he as good as people say he was? I have no doubt because, like you said, there's so many people that have said it and people that played with him and against him and stuff. So I've got no doubt he was as good as people say. I'd like to witness it myself. So I'd probably pick someone like Bobby just because I've never seen him. But from players I have seen, I tell you what, Craig Bellamy. To go along with your rule of thumb, I think Craig Bellamy.
I mean, he'd play well in the system. There's no doubt about that. Yes, good shout.
I loved Bellamy. I was gutted when he left. Bellamy. Last question from one of our patrons. GB says, let's say Alier clicks, plays well and scores a couple of goals in the next 2 games. If you were Moyes, would you attempt a formation to cater for both Antonio and Sebastian Haller, taking into account some of the fixtures we've got coming up?
I think that the question's tough. If I were Moyes, if I were me, yeah, probably. If I'm David Moyes and I'm thinking like David Moyes, not thinking like me, I don't think David Moyes is shifting from that formation at all. I just don't think he's that flexible. Look, he gets a lot of praise. He gets a lot, he really does. From me in particular. But I'm not going to sit here and suggest that he's a flexibly tactical manager. It's just not what he does. I just can't see it. As much as we would like to see it, I can't. I think he's rigid, and I think that works for him. I think, is that enough to take us into the top 4? I don't know. It's not. But that him being stubborn and rigid and sticking to his formation is what has got us where we are and got him where he is. He ain't changing. When he will play one strike, he'll play one striker up, I'm pretty sure. That being said, we did see instances of it, didn't we? But before lockdown, and he was playing. But even then, we were saying on the reviews, I was certainly saying I didn't see it as a 4-4-2. Even then, I found Antonio was very much taking wide left positions a lot at a time. Would he do that now? I'm not so sure. I can't see them both playing in the same team very often.
If he did, I think he'd have to sacrifice. Essentially, we've got 2 attacking midfielders, whatever you want to call them. So one would then be Antonio to go up front. I think he'd have to sacrifice the other one in a more of a deeper line and almost go to a traditional 3-5-2 style one. And I don't think that then rules out Bowen and Benrahma essentially, because I think Fornals could drop in. I don't think Benrahma or Bowen could. I think Lanzini could go to the 3 with Rice and Zolchek in there. And that would be a bit iffy. But I do see us playing both of them if we are chasing a game, particularly if we're losing against Sheffield United. I fully expect us to finish the game with Antonio and Sebastian Haller both on the pitch together. And
sure,
I'd almost be disappointed if we didn't actually. If we took off Haller and put on Antonio, I'm assuming Antonio's not fully fit and therefore starts on the bench, there'd be a bit of me that just thinks this is a bit frustrating, because the guy that Haller would probably want to work with is Antonio, actually, the guy that's keeping him at the team. And Sebastian probably looks at him and thinks, I can work alongside this guy. He's the one that can provide flick-ons. Because against that Liverpool and Fulham, I thought Haller was winning the ball in the air a lot. Problem is, Fornals and Bowen were either not reading the flick-ons or not fast enough to read the flick-ons or whatever. Antonio can do those things, because Antonio's quite a simple footballer sometimes. He will just run. And sometimes that's what you need. When Haller's going up in the air, all you have to do is just run behind him. It's Sunday League stuff. You get shouted at by the people inside, don't you? Gamble. That's what they shout at you. Gamble that your big man's going to win it. Gamble. Run. And you almost just need that. And sometimes Haller would flick it on. And Bowen and Fornals either haven't gambled or they're just a bit too slow. So I think Antonio would benefit from him. Right, moving on to Twitter questions. We'll do the Twitter questions. Before we do the YouTube ones, we'll play the clip and do the little giveaway thing. We'll do the giveaway. I'll tell you briefly about it. Any questions relating to the team formation or picks ahead of the Sheffield United game, we're going to ignore them and deal with them in the preview. So Darren says, Gonzo in the previous video has mentioned a new right-sided centre-back. Have we already got the man for the job at the club already in Soufal? As Creswell has been such a success at left-back and Soufal is lacking pace, could this be the answer?
No, sorry. To piddle on the fireworks, I think you can get away with one short centre half in a 3, which would be Aaron Cresswell. I don't think you're going to get away with another one. It means all the responsibility for clearing the crosses is on Ogbonna. I think you've got to be a sizable player there. I also think, because when I spoke about that, it was the fact that we have a creative option coming forward from our wide centre half. I actually think Cresswell is a lot more technical in terms of his crossing ability than Soufal is. I think Soufal's such high energy, he just keeps on putting cross after cross after cross, and he will get over there. So, something's going to stick at some point. I think the technique of Cresswell's delivery is far superior, which is why you won't see Soufal taking corners and free kicks and stuff like that. He's just not as good at delivering as Cresswell is. But I do think, I don't think it will happen, but actually when I started looking back at Moyes' when I was looking at the team from Moyes' last game of his first stint against Everton, was actually Declan Rice who played right-sided centre-back. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he would be far more suited to it than Soufal because he's a better size. And but yeah, I do think there's room there for a technical right-sided centre-half who can improve the attacking play, particularly bearing in mind Declan drops him from central midfield. You watch Declan every time Cresswell goes forward. I really like it. It's really, really nice, neat thing to do.
I think I get what Darren's saying. I think short term, if we're at a game or two, I think it would work okay, because you've then got Fredericks that comes in at right wing back. But long term, I err on the side of caution, as with Gonzo here, in the sense that you can't have two players that short. If Cresswell was out the defence for whatever reason, say Diop was playing over there, then you get away with him in there. I think he's got the attributes, he's just not got the height. Now, we've got a really good question for Jamie May. Oh, there was two Jamies. Really good question for Jamie May, but I'm going to keep that because I might do a video about this with Gonzo separately, because there's not much news at the minute. We could get a 10-minute one out of this, Gonzo. We can drag this one out. Dean Marsh, what have you both asked Santa for?
Mine's really boring, but I'm not asking Santa. I have to do it myself. But go on, Geo.
Nothing. I don't do Christmas.
No, all right. Well, what do you want? What do you want? Dean's asking, what do you want?
I'll tell you what. Actually, Liam Gallagher's got a new vinyl box set coming out. Now I've got his vinyls, and I've got Oasis and BDI's vinyls. But his new vinyl box set, I clicked on it. You can pre-order it. I thought, ooh, it's 140 quid. And I thought, oh. So I've not ordered it because it's £140, but you get 7 vinyls. They're all different. It's quite nice actually. So that if Santi could be good to me.
I would like
if Nicola Sturgeon would allow him in the country for one night, that'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure, yeah, very distant, Father Christmas. I would need. He's got to do a sort of delivery service. He does do a delivery service. Obviously, he is the original delivery service.
He needs a COVID test, I think.
He's all right. He doesn't. Clearly, Father Christmas can't catch such things. But I need him to go back and then return again. Because what I need is I've got some metal parts for my pinball machine that need powder coating, and the firm that does the powder coating locally, they're very unreliable. And they don't. What they don't give you. You know what powder coating is, Geo, right? Yeah.
No, but I'll just say
you
yes.
You want to see a range of colours, right? They don't give you a range of colours. You basically describe it. Yeah, I'll have it in a sort of blue. I don't want that. I want I want those metallic, sparkly colours. So Father Christmas got to powder coat some metal parts from my pinball machine. That's what I want.
It's quite specific. I think you might just have to take what you're given, really.
No, you can't. Not with colours. Like going into a paint shop and saying, "Oh, can I have some paint for the wall?" Yeah, I'll just take that colour. Oh no, I've decided I'm going to paint the lounge in whatever. No, it's colours important.
Okay, I agree with that. Anyway, Angus says, I don't understand why there's still so much scepticism among the fan base about Moyes. For the first time in a while, we are starting to see consistency at West Ham and a good style of play. At what point do we think, hang on, Moyes is doing a bloody good job here?
Well, you answered.
I knew you were going to say.
I think Moyes is doing a bloody good job.
I better say, I think Angus is talking to me, isn't he? When I start seeing consistency against teams of our ilk, I don't want to see us when we're the plucky underdog. I think we're good as the plucky underdog, but I want to see us turning up to Fulham, Sheffield United, Burnley, and not being competitive, but being convincing, almost looking like the better team. Being able to play more than one way, I think, against Fulham, if anything, it almost just confirmed that we can play counter-attacking. We're good out of possession, and we're good when we get the ball, and we've got to get from one box to the other in 3 passes. We're good at that. But I think when it comes to a team sitting back and saying what you're going to do, I think that's where we struggle a little bit. And I just want to see a little bit more variety and a bit more attacking play. Also, I was going to do a video about this, but I didn't really know how to. Well, I could have done it.
You've got a lot of videos coming.
No, but
you said there's nothing to talk about.
But I don't see how the youngsters get into the team at West Ham this season. Without the cup, I struggle. Ben Johnson can't even get on the bench. We were all excited for Ben Johnson to see. He can't get on the bench. Now, I understand why he's not there. But I just think when you've got 7 subs, could you not just make it almost like a club rule to have 1 youngster on the bench? Just 1. That's all. Now, it could be Ben Johnson because he's probably the most ready for the first team. So that's your wing back sorted. So you don't need Fredericks and Johnson. So unfortunately for Ryan Fredericks, he's probably going to have to miss out. But we had a game not long ago where we had Yarmolenko and Antonio were out, I think. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure Yarmolenko and Antonio were out. We had no youngster on the bench. We just had attacking midfielders. So hang on a minute, where's the striker? We don't have one. We'd rather have no striker and keep Snodgrass happy, they'd actually put a striker on the bench and upset an experienced player. But then you've got, I just don't see the youngsters get in. Now, it's not necessarily David Moyes' fault, but David Moyes is the one that keeps telling us he wants a young and hungry team, but yet we've got the third oldest average starting 11 in the Premier League. I'm not seeing I'm seeing a hungry team, but I'm not seeing the youngsters, and I would just like to see that a bit more. I want to see, I guess, a plan for what West Ham are going to look like in 3 years' time. Remember you did your jokey videos to what West Ham look like now if Moyes remained and had Pellegrini's money? Well, yes. I'd kind of like to see what West Ham are going to look like in 3 years with Moyes continuing for the 3 years, because at the minute, I'm not 100% sure. There's only a handful of players in that starting 11 you can pick out. Ogbonna won't be here, Crespo won't be here, Antonio won't be here. Well, they might be here, but they'll be on their last legs. Fabianski won't be here, Yarmolenko won't be here, Snodgrass won't be here, Noble won't be here. That's 7 players off the top of my head, too old. So who's coming in? I'm aware you've then got to buy players, blah, 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 but I just want to see it first before I buy into it, kind of thing. Anyway, sorry.
There you go, Angus. You asked. You did ask.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say a massive thank you to Eric. Eric has put in 25. What is the Swedish currency? SEK. What's that?
I don't know.
Well, we'll just make it up. It's SEK, so it's Swedish something. He's put in 25 Swedish somethings. Anyway, so Eric, thank you for that. He says, money for Gallagher. That'll get me one vinyl. But no, seriously, thank you, Eric. We appreciate that one. Nice touch, as Kent has just described it as. But thank you for the SEK.
Swedish krona. It's diseased. Swedish krona? He sent you a virus. Thank you, Eric. We get it tested. You have to put it in quarantine, Geo.
Someone's asking about changing information, and then lastly we've got Jordan. What do you make of all the big clubs moaning about injuries? We deal with massive injuries every year. What could we achieve with a fully fit team this season? And also, what's a cheeky bet you do every week?
My cheeky bet is I like it. I do a cheeky bet every week. I put 25 pence on, and it wins. Well, I say it wins me. It never has won me that much, but it can win me up to between 500,000 and a million. I try and predict all the score lines of the Premier League games. That being said, quite recently I did a couple, as I showed Geo. I put 10 pence on or something. I remember I showed you, Gio, 120, 130 quid. Do you remember? Yeah. From sort of like 10 pence. So there you go. That was happy days for me. What was the first question? For a fully fit squad, how well can we do?
And about the injuries, because the big clubs are obviously wanting 5 subs during a game now, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, mid-table, I think, even with. I think keeping everyone fit is mid-table. I think if we don't have everyone fit for a period of time, then we will start to struggle. I do think we are a club that needs to have more or less our best. I say the best 11. We need to have 13, most of our 13 or 14 best players available. There are, I still think mid-table. I don't think you'll say everyone fit for the season and we finish top 6. No way.
I think we can qualify for European football if everyone stays fit.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's a bit like last season. I felt there was an opportunity for someone to get into that top 6. Leicester done it, Wolves narrowly missed out, and I think there's another opportunity again this season. And do I think we will do it? No, I think we might finish 12th or something, which is still a reasonable season, all things considered. But yeah, we have to remember the bigger picture here, and that is that when we moved ground, when orders come in and stuff, Leicester, Wolves, Southampton, they're all behind us. They've now all overtaken us, and they're the ones challenging for European football, and it's just a bit frustrating. But we've got to aspire to that. We've got to be aiming for European football. We can't sit there and go, 12th's good. It's all right. It's a building block, but we've got to keep on going. And but if everyone stays fit and we have a little bit of luck even there with fixtures, form, injuries, we could get European football, but I don't think we will. Mark Chalmers says, what Scottish player would you pick for England, Gonzo? And vice versa for me, what English player would I pick for Scotland?
I guess we've got to take the outstanding player, haven't we? Really, which is Robertson. Although he's picked up an injury on international duty, isn't he?
I don't think he's injured.
What pretend sneakiness?
But I think at the end of the day we played 90 minutes, played extra time, and then they had a 3-day bender. Like, is I'm not surprised he looked at the first 11 and I'm going to invest as many as I can here, and I'll even and as he's captain of the national squad, it's a bad look if you're taking someone out because he can't be arsed playing the next game for what is a game that you could do without, because we're playing again tomorrow. I don't think he's injured. I think he's just protected his captain, if you like, which is a good thing to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, he gets in. There's no not doing anyone any favours. Robertson gets in the England team. It's as simple as that. So he's the one to choose.
Yeah. I want to pick Grealish because I think he's just a ridiculously good form at the minute, isn't he? But we need centre backs and a striker. So I'd pick Harry Kane. I would pick Harry Kane. I think midfield. I think we've actually got some good midfielders. Good left backs, but centre back and strikers where Scotland's lacking. Right, we're going to move on to questions from YouTube and the live chat in just a minute, but before we do, we're going to play a little clip for you. Basically, we got an email on Saturday morning from someone that watches our videos. James messaged us and said, can I come on with a cup of tea? I've got a Christmas present for you, and I would like to tell you a little story about Hammer's chat and his own personal life. So it's explained that you can't really come on during a cup of tea, and I'm not going to lie, I was a bit anxious. Anyone could come on. He could come on and call us whatsits and leave, and then we're looking a little bit silly.
Well, I didn't know it was, but when you said, I didn't realise it was James, who has actually sent a couple of videos in on your shop. I didn't know that at the time. And
on Saturday, carry on. Myself and Gonzo video called him, and as soon as he come on, we recognised him from the videos he sent, and hopefully you do as well. We had a little chat with him. So he basically told us a little story about him and Hammer's chat, and gave us a little Christmas gift. So we're going to play that clip now, but don't go anywhere. Stick around. Myself and Gonzo will be back with loads more questions after this short clip. Catch you in a bit.
9 years ago, my dad had a stroke, and up until that point, since I've been born, really, we are at Hammers fan season ticket holders at the bowling pretty much up until I was 16 when he had his stroke. And I think he was in hospital for about a year or so. I now look after him. And when I was 17, 18, I then set up my own company that was does customizations on cars and stuff like that. And so something I could do from working from home and sort of look after him as he was getting better, because his stroke was quite severe. During that time, obviously, my interest in football waned. But over the last sort of 2 or 3 years, it's just been me and my dad now. His speech is a lot better and things like that. I'm sure we're trying to engage a lot more as sort of father and son, as sort of like mates living together now. And so I always kind of found it hard for us to connect with and talk about, because his speech is quite broken, and as you can imagine, things like that. Went up to the London Stadium a few times to scout out the sort of disability access, to start taking him to some games and things like that. And then it gave us something to talk about. So I sort of tried to stoke my interest in it again, to sort of catch up to speed on what was happening with West Ham, because it had been years since I hadn't seen a game of theirs or even heard anything about it whatsoever. His memory does remember things from the past in certain phases, and I then came across your channel probably about 2 years ago, maybe 1.5, 2 years ago. And so a lot of the content you were providing was so helpful for me to sort of get up to speed on past events with references and whatnot. So a lot of your content that I watch pretty much every week helps me to go to him and go, oh, Dad, did you know this and that? Like when you talk about the summer signings, it sort of gives us something to talk about and gets him engaged, because he can't read, he can't really focus on one thing. You have to provoke him into it. But because if you give him a trigger word, give him a name, give him a player, he kind of goes, oh, yeah. So we can then engage and have a conversation, which for him is the only thing he can do. So the more I can do of that, the better. And through West Ham and having content through you guys has been an absolute godsend, because that's now our thing. You know, we now watch the games, we do this. Now, if it wasn't for lockdown, we'd be going up to the stadium and watching games again, which would be really nice once this is all over. But yeah, so even just all your videos, just on the ins and outs of the the owners and the GSB out and all that stuff, he has no concept of any of this whatsoever. So for me to have some sort of substance to go on from your videos and the stuff you provide, really does help us to talk and have a conversation. Yeah, first of all, thanks so much for all the entertainment. And for me personally, over the last 2 years, it's provided a platform for me to have information and knowledge on West Ham and the behind the scenes stuff and whatnot, to really have a conversation, a dialogue with him, and I can't say enough how much that's helped. And so I just want to say thank you for that, first of all. Second of all, is what I do for a living. I have recently had a new client, regular, who actually does the training for the youth team at Tottenham. And I know through lockdown, a lot of people have had, it's financially really difficult for people as well at the minute. I seem to have been a little bit lucky, I guess, with working from home, and a lot of those clientele, they've still got money to spend and stuff and whatnot. So aside from the personal note, I just wanted to, I know, Gonzo, you have kids and whatnot, and, times are tough. And Geo, I don't actually know what you do, Geo, so I'm not going to ask if I don't want to say, but I'm curious what it is you actually do. But yeah, I'm sending you guys 150 quid, all right? Split between yourselves, however you want to do it. Buy the kids something for Christmas, mate, or I'd say go down the pub, but we can't. Do what you want. Don't take the kids to the pub, though. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. That won't go well. But yeah, so I'm going to ping you that guy's not over. And just as a thank you for all the content and how long this takes to, out of your time to do. I know you do the Patreon as well and whatnot, but I just thought, like a Christmas bonus type thing, considering the money's coming from Tottenham as well, technically. That's the way I see it. So it's a win-win all round, really. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you guys for, all your hard work and the content. And, yeah, Merry Christmas.
Geo?
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, it's not often someone can keep me and Gonzo quiet here for that long. But thank you for the money, but more for the story, to be honest with you. When we've been fortunate enough to hear, we don't get loads of people message us. We always joke about how the positive people are the quiet people, if you like, is the negative stuff you hear, the louder ones and that. But now and again, we do get a really heartwarming email come through, and everybody's got a personal thing or attachment to Hammers Chat sometimes. I remember the time we got told that we help a child with autism learn about football in a way, and we thought, we don't
didn't intend to do that. No.
Yeah. No, but seriously, the thing with you and your dad is priceless, really. And that's just, it's really heartwarming, and I don't know, I'm lost for words, really. But thank you, first of all, for coming on. And it's not just the present's a fantastic gift, and you really don't have to do that. We will find a pub that's open, though. But it's what that does for you and your dad, and if we can help in any way, especially when we just sit and talk about rubbish about West Ham day in day out and stuff, is amazing, really. So thank you.
Yeah, it provides me with entertainment and in conversation, and like you say, it's priceless. It's priceless.
No, well, listen, James. Honestly, thank you so much, and I will take the kids to the pub and get them plastered, particularly the 6-year-old. But so thank you kindly for that. I don't think Geo will mind me saying that he's actually a prostitute as well. So if that'll just give him an hour off, and will help him to recuperate, certainly. What I do think is I listen to your story, and there is a little bit of your story as well, because you send in videos as well, which and that's not always the easiest thing for you to do, and I know that, and I'll leave that up to you whether you want to say anything on that. But I just think in terms of listening to your story, in terms of your dad, for you to, I'm really impressed. The thing that got me there initially when I heard it was you starting up your own company at 17, 18. And I tell you now, as someone that started up a company in his 30s and and in his 40s and stuff like that, it's not an easy thing to do. And for you to do that and to live with him and to run the company at 17, I can't even fathom building a company, which is clearly doing well for you. As you say, your clients are doing well, and I think it's amazing. And listen, thank you very much. Good luck to you. Massively good luck to your dad as well. And you're a good guy, mate. You really are.
There we have it. A massive thank you again to James. Just to confirm, that is James in the live chat, because a lot of people are putting in really nice messages in the live chat at the minute. And there's a James that has said thank you for all the kind messages. That is James. But also, just to confirm, not that anyone needs to, but he did send over the gift as well, so we've received it massively. Thanks again, James. I'm a surprise, but a pleasant one at that. Have you spent it yet, Gonzo?
No. But again, thank you very much, James. I've got to buy myself some more pepper. So that will go towards the white pepper fund because someone's been pranking me. So in my own home. So he's quite right. The children will not be getting treated at all after the way they've treated me. But no, James, top man. You know that, mate. Top man. Thanks so much.
I'm having tonight off as well, so thank you, James. I can stay in my own bed tonight.
That's right. We'll send him over some ointment.
Right, question from people that putting them on YouTube. We'll get to the live chat in a minute. I'm keeping an eye on the time. Don't worry. There's a live chat. Copy and paste it, and we'll keep an eye on it. Harley says, "Is an in-prime Carlton Cole as good as Sebastian Allaire?"
Look, Carlton Cole when he was at his best, I'm gonna say something, but I don't. Look, a bit nasty here, maybe. Carlton Cole didn't reach his potential. Carlton Cole had such good, massive natural ability. Remember, he played under Zola at Chelsea. He called him my little lion. Zola called him my little lion. Oh no, it was Ranieri. Ranieri called him my little lion. He was such a good player, such good technique. I actually thought when I saw him play for England, I thought he played really well. I thought he was unlucky not to play the next game for England, but he just seemed to get dropped. An informed Carlton Cole, I thought was a perfect striker for the modern game. Quick, good technique, just a really good player. But all his natural ability, I think he might retire with not regrets because he's a folk hero at West Ham. But he was good enough on his day to play anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I get the question, actually. I think Allaire has, like, Frankfurt, Sebastian Allaire, I think, is better than Carlton Cole. But at West Ham, it's difficult, really. I think peak Carlton Cole's probably edges it, to be honest with you. He certainly suit what we're doing at the minute more than what Sebastian Allaire is. Yes, but yeah, under Zola at West Ham, Carlton Cole was as good a striker as I've seen for a long time at West Ham. And since him, there's not too many better than him either. Our sign says, given Darren Moyes likes experienced defenders, do you think Ogbonna has potential to play for West Ham well into his 30s? I mean, he's already... Is he 33?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, he is. He's
getting there, isn't he? But I'll tell you what, he's not slowing down, is he?
No, I think... We don't have to put him out to pasture yet. That's for sure. There's a lot more life in Ogbonna. He seems to be getting better. I put it that way. I don't. It's funny actually. I don't see him on a downward spiral. He seems. Yeah. I don't even consider it at the moment. Obviously, I'm aware that he won't be around in 5 years' time. Wouldn't even think about it now. Cause certainly don't see any reason why he can't play until 35, 36. Don't see any reason at all.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the problem is it could creep up on him and hit him like a wall. Really, we've seen it with defenders as well. I think I'm trying to think. Rio Ferdinand is probably a good example. You know, he went to QPR and suddenly just turned awful overnight. He just fell off a cliff. Sol Campbell's another defender who was on top of his game. And suddenly, within the space of 2-3 months, his ability didn't disappear. He was just no longer able to cut it at Premier League level. And I think it could happen to Ogbonna, but he's just, at the minute, he's flying. I think if I'd pick my ham of the year so far this season, it would be Ogbonna hands down. I wouldn't even have to think about it. So for now, I've not got any concerns, but I do think we're going to have to keep an eye on him because he is 33. But yeah, I can see him going on for another 2-3 years as well. Charlie Date says, do Moyes and Southgate have similar issues with timing and choice of substitutions and being too stubborn to adapt to opposition? And who do you think is the better manager?
I think Moyes is the better manager, and no, I don't think they have that in common. I think what they have in common is they're both too cautious. I think Southgate does make subs. I think it's easy to look at the other night and say doesn't. It's really hard to. It's hard to compare because because international managers do make substitutes because they play so many friendlies as well. If you looked at the stats, you'd probably see Southgate making a lot of substitutions on half time that David Moyes just wouldn't, because that's the nature of international football. He will have deals and agreements with certain clubs, which is certain clubs will say, okay, you can have our player, but he only plays a half. So the stats would be quite skewed. It'd be interesting to see how likely Southgate is to do a substitution in Premier League management. I don't know. I don't know his stats at Middlesbrough, but I do. I feel that. I also feel that David Moyes is more sort of cutthroat and a bit ruthless than Southgate as well. But it's look, it's I think it's a little bit. It is fashionable to beat up on Southgate at the moment. I understand that, and I've been quite critical of him myself in the past week. Yeah, I do think they're both too cautious as managers, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think they're both too cautious. But to defend David Moyes, one of them has world-class players, I suppose. The other one's a manager of West Ham. But I think Moyes is playing what is the right tactics for West Ham against half the opposition in the league, whereas Southgate's played similar tactics or similar style. He's got no excuse to be doing that, to be honest with you. I don't think Southgate's a good enough manager. Whereas I think Moyes is. So who's the better manager? David Moyes. I'd rather have Moyes in charge of West Ham than Gareth Southgate. Without a doubt, to be honest with you. Maverick, interesting question. Could Reid get back into the team as his form in America is looking good again?
Looks really good, and yes, he could. But this is where we go back on the last question about stubbornness and all the rest of it. David Moyes have to be open to that. David Moyes has to have not written Winston Reid off. I think that is really, really important. So he would need to see a little bit more of that, and he needs to be open. He needs to be open to the suggestion that he's playing competitively. It'd be easy to think he's over the other side of the pond, and he's not playing really, games that I recognise or I can get to go and see, and all the rest of it. I would like to think so. I would like to think there is still an avenue open if and only if he's recovered from his injury. If Winston Reid has completely recovered from his injury, and he's playing like the Winston Reid of old, of course he gets into our team.
Yeah, I mean, I love Winston, but there's a big difference between Premier League football and MLS, though. But if there's never really been a question of ability, that's the thing, isn't it? It's purely about fitness, purely about can you ever get back to be, well, I guess there is that, can you get back to being as good as that? But the first question is, can you be fit and remain fit in order to find out if you're good enough and stuff? So if he's proven his fitness and stuff, I'd like to find out if he's good enough at West Ham almost, rather than some other team benefiting from it. The problem is now we've got Craig Dawson here, and I know it might sound silly, but Moyes and I suppose Sullivan will look at Craig Dawson and we're spending money on this guy and he's not even been into a match day squad yet. So do we need another centre back on the books? Because I can only presume that his wages are partly being covered at the moment.
Such a small amount, Gio. Yeah, I mean, we're still paying about 55 grand, so he might as well be back for us.
But we are that skint. I think even 10 grand a week, Sullivan will think.
I think by getting Reid back in and sending Dawson back, I think we're more quids in. I think Dawson's wage is about 30 grand. I think whoever he is, Kansas, wherever he is he at Kansas?
Yeah.
They're playing less than 30 grand. We would literally be better off if it was Winston Reid rather than Dawson.
Yeah, I'd be for that. For Sheezy, it's almost Christmas, so a festive question for me. What is your favourite crisp flavour? And you put Pringles in brackets, but I don't know if there's any. What kind of.
But Pringles isn't a crisp.
Okay, right. Okay, listen, just answer his question, please. Just pick a Christmas flavour crisp, please. It doesn't matter.
Christmas flavour?
That's what he said. What's your favourite Christmas crisp flavour?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had a Christmas crisp. If I am having a crisp, I quite like them sweet chili ones at the moment, to be fair. If I'm having a crisp. Yeah, I don't know about a special Christmas flavour, per se. Yeah, sweet chili are quite nice.
Before Gonzo shouts at me about it not being a crisp, the crisp I'm currently snacking on is Quavers. But I do like a bag of Quavers. I know it's not.
It's maize.
Look, shut up. We're moving on. We don't need any crisp critique. Thank you. It's a simple question. Ruben says, "Are we good enough to play 4 at the back? And will we ever see it again? If so, what do we need to do?" No.
Well, I think we're good enough to play it, but because we got some good players in the
squad. We don't have a left back.
I don't think we'll see it again. No, we don't have a left back, do we? That's true. No, I think I felt for some time Moyes just wants to play 3 at the back.
Okay, you're gonna
and he's got it now.
Right. Okay, for me, I don't. Are we good enough if we get a left back? Creswell's in fantastic form, not there. Matsuaku's in fantastic form, not there. Put either on there, might see a different player. That worries me. But I'm going to have to address this because in a live chat, people are now questioning you about saying Pringles and a crisp. They're not very happy with it, actually. So I think you're going to have to expand on this.
Well, a crisp is a deep fried sliced potato. That's what a crisp is. That's not what a Pringle is. Pringle is a form pressed, processed bit of starch. I'm not saying it's not. Actually, I am saying they're horrible. The cheese and chive ones are disgusting. You ever opened a tube and smelt them? They're disgusting. But it's not a potato chip, basically, which is what a crisp is. It's not. And Quavers and Monster Munch, they're maize snacks. Not even made of potato. Quavers is
leave Quavers out. No one's questioning Quavers. What have Quavers done to you? Leave them out of this.
They're a bit smelly as well, to be fair.
And
I like a beef Monster Munch. I've got nothing against maize. I'm just saying it's not a crisp.
They stink though. I like them, but they smell, don't they?
There's a lot of crisps.
Really
smell,
stinky.
Mate, yeah.
If I ever have to go on a train or something and I go to get my meal deal, get my chicken sandwich, safe, no scent, it's fine. And I look at the Monster Munch and think, well, I can't have those because they stink, and I'm too.
You sure you don't mean the pickled onion?
I don't eat pickled onion. I don't like oniony stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robert, would you consider doing a roundup show for all the teams, for example, the under-23s, under-21s, and women's after weekend games? Yes, we will. We'll consider that, Robert. We'll put it on the to-do list. We've done some of them before. Avid covers the women's ones now and again. He hasn't done it for a while. Well, maybe message him and say, Avid, do them, will you? General football question. Should international football be put on hold? That's Gonzo's video tomorrow, Andy. So you're in for a treat tomorrow.
I don't know about that, but there'll be a video on it tomorrow.
Do you know something? I'm going to be controversial. No, and I'm not being controversial for the sake of it. What I just witnessed on Thursday, that feeling, I'm not getting that watching the Premier League. I'll tell you that for free. You can put me down and watch the Premier League for 38 games, but you're not going to get that excitement. You might get that excitement 3 times out of your 38, and chances are it's going to come at the end of the season when you do something, when you achieve something. We've had it against Tottenham, but it's a one-off. That, and I wasn't the only one. There's loads of other Scottish people. I don't know the other countries that qualified for the playoffs. I think Slovakia was one of them. Iceland got beat by someone. I don't know. The point is, that feeling everybody got that night, that's what football's all about for me. You take away international football, you remove that emotion. Is it the best thing at the minute? Of course it's not. But I don't know. You've got to continue as normal as possible. And I think, by the way, I think friendlies are stupid. International friendlies going on in a minute. I think that's too much. I don't see the point in that, particularly when instead of using 11 players and 3 subs, you're using 11 players and 11 substitutions as well. You're using more players. I think that's a little bit daft. But I'm sorry, but that feeling that we had on Thursday is what football's all about for me. And I'm not going to get that watching West Ham play Sheffield United on Sunday. I'm not. We could win 4-0. I'll be happy. But it's not going to come anywhere close to qualifying for a major tournament after 22 years, winning on penalties after conceding a 90th minute goal. you go through. I went through every emotion watching that game, and it'll be a long time since or before I feel like that again watching a Premier League game. And so for that reason, I'm going to be a bit selfish and say no, international football should remain. Simple as that, really. With Ben Davies, with Wrexham being taken over by 2 Hollywood celebrities, is there a celebrity you want to see take over West Ham?
Oh, there's a good one. Oh, I like that. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, see, the trouble is, it's easy to try and pick a West Ham fan celebrity because there are loads of those, aren't there? I don't know. It's a bloody good question. I was totally unprepared for that. It'll teach me not to read the questions before we do this. I would have thought of something. Have you got one?
No, I mean, I'm trying to stay away from rich, wealthy people, because celebrity, you could pick the geezer that runs Amazon, Jeff Bezos or something. You could pick something him because he's the richest guy on the planet. But I don't really want to. The Wrexham one's interesting, and it's big Hollywood actors, and it's just, they'll be rich, but they're not going to be. Are they going to plough tens and hundreds of millions into the club? No, they're not. They're not, okay, but they're going to bring PR and stuff. So from a celebrity perspective, I don't know. I'd almost like to see Liam Gallagher just for a laugh. Could you imagine that geezer running a football club? Nah, but for West Ham, I'd want a football person. I think I'd want a football man. I think I'd want someone. No, I know. Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart. He's a football man. He's got football in his blood. He loves the game. He loves the way football's played. Proper passionate about football. But got a few quid, and he knows a few people with a few quid as well. And we'll get a summer concert at the London Stadium.
I thought of one. Gordon Ramsay. As I'd like to see him walk around all those kiosks, and he'd pick up that hot dog and he'd go, "Oi, big boy, what the fuck's this?" And start throwing it around, and we'd get all this lovely cuisine and all the lovely pies and beautiful food.
Yeah, but Brady would be there going, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's £8. What you just threw there is £8. Get that back."
Well, I'll pay £8 for a Gordon Ramsay meal. I'll tell you that much, mate. Yeah, something like that. I think outside the box. Yeah, just give us really good grub. Really good grub. The football might be crap, but the food is very tasty.
Live chat, we're going to come to you now. I'm going to leave the other questions. We'll deal with them in another video because I want to make sure we get the live chat. And I don't like ignoring the live chat because you sit with us and put up with us and interact with us. So we'll do one from Kent, and then we're going to explain a little explain a little bit about our giveaway under our Patreon thing, and then we're going to go back to the live chat and get your questions. Get your questions ready, but please copy them on your phone, on the computer. Make sure you copy them so you can paste them again later, because I will miss them. Kent Hammer says, would you give Moyes a new contract as his stock is rising? Back up a 2-year extension with option of third, otherwise we could get our fingers burnt.
Yeah, I mean, I've covered, that Kent watches videos every day. Yeah, I would absolutely do that. I think the dynamics of the relationship are changing between Moyes and Sullivan. The first time Moyes needed Sullivan. The second time it was mutually advantageous for both of us. They both needed each other, and now I think Moyes is, the longer he goes on, is in the better position. Yeah, get him signed up.
Right, okay. So excuse the rummaging. I'm going into my.
Where you going?
I'm getting the giveaway thing.
Oh, cool, sure.
Look at this. You can't. Gonzo won't see it as well as the.
I've seen it.
Yeah. This is a commentary sheet. Basically, it's what the commentators have in front of them for a game. So it's got all the team lineups, and it's got 2 or 3 facts about every single player. So it says here, Darren Randolph, first Premier League since September on Saturday, 4-1 against Swansea. Adrian's got a calf injury, played FA Cup against Man United, Irish Euro #1. Stats, a little bit of facts. So that's a commentary sheet from when we played Man United in the last game at the Bull Inn. And I can't remember his surname. I've got a mind blank here. What's the surname? Clive. What's his face? The commentator.
Tilsley.
It's Clive Tilsley's company. He does this, and if you buy one from his website, he'll write on the back of it as well. If you want a little message on the back signed by Clive himself, he does it. We're going to give that away on Twitter or YouTube, undecided. Me and Gonzo need to have a conversation. We've got 2. So we're going to give one away, and we're going to keep the other one for the patrons. We've also got Art of Football. Gonzo knows Art of Football. I know Art of Football. We've got a few t-shirts from them. We've got a giveaway coming up. Now that will be on Twitter. So Hammers_chat. Make sure you're following us. Both giveaways are completely free. We've got more giveaways coming up. But Gonzo, we're starting a new podcast.
We are starting a new podcast, and on that podcast, I won't be told to stop talking about crisps.
No, you will possibly talk about crisps or bath.
I will. We're basically doing a general topics podcast. Myself and Geo, basically cup of tea format, but not talking about football. We'll be talking about crisps. We'll be talking about crisps. We'll be talking about Netflix. We'll be talking about food. We'll be talking about other sports aside from football. In fact, we'll be talking about pretty much anything aside from football. And it's been something we've been wanting to do for quite some time. We've perhaps been a little bit reticent to do it because it's a bit of a jump, isn't it? A bit of a plunge into the unknown doing it. So it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but we wanted to do it. We wanted to do a podcast without the straitjacket of which is basically, let's just get back onto football. So yeah, that's basically it. Where are we doing it? How are we doing it, Gio?
We're doing it on Patreon, but every fourth episode is free. Every fourth episode, you do not need to be a patron, because we're trying to get a balance. We're trying to get a balance between patron content and non-patron content, and we find it difficult sometimes. So what we thought was we'll give 75% of it to the patrons, then a quarter of it will be open to absolutely anybody. We've also got an offer on Patreon at the minute. Now this is more of a Christmas present. So we've been telling you all year, you become a patron, you become a patron. Now we're saying you get someone else to make you a patron. So when someone says, what do you want for your Christmas? You say, a Hammers Chat patron, please. And as a little sign up offer, you're getting 10% off if you pay annually. The link's in the description, or go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. You can still join up monthly, but you get a little discount if you sign up annually. All the details are below. It starts from $3.50 per month and goes all the way up to $14. Obviously, $14 gets you absolutely everything. And the 75% of our new podcast will be on there, but like you said, the 25%, the 1 in 4 will be on YouTube. It'll be free to watch. Anyone can watch it. You don't need to be a patron to watch every fourth episode. And I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's going to be a little bit different, but sometimes, like when Tiger King came out, we watched Tiger King. We would have liked to have discussed it, but we couldn't. We discussed it off air and stuff, so I thought, wouldn't mind doing that on a podcast. So now we've created it. Anyway, so if your loved one says, what can I get you for Christmas? Please consider a Hammers Chat patron thing. Like I said, all the details are below. Now we're going to go to live chat now and get the questions in. Irish Tommy, if West Ham were changing their club colours and you could choose the new ones, what colours would you choose?
Well, yellow and black, because that was what my team. Excuse me. What me and my mate Marcus, who you've probably seen on this channel when we play Crystal Palace. We used to have a five-a-side team, and our colours were yellow and black. So yeah, we'd probably go with that.
I think I'd go purple. Like, remember Dream Team, Harchester United?
That was our purple was our away kit.
Yeah, I would go purple, like proper purple. Maybe gold as well, like Harchester. Harchester were purple and white, and I remember I played for a team that got a purple one in, and it had gold in it. I thought it looked really nice, actually, so I'd probably do purple and gold. Femmer007 says, why do you think Fornals splits the fan base so much? His stats are very good, still some are ready to sub him for Ben Rama.
Because I think two reasons. Number one, he seems to be out of position a lot of the time. I don't mean he drifts into it. Just he seems. We all sort of know what he is, and he gets deployed in sometimes positions that don't suit him. He gets deployed in positions where pace is necessary, and he doesn't have that. Excuse me. I think the other answer to your question, you've actually put in the question itself, which is Ben Rama. I think when we get a player that's as skillful as Ben Rama, everyone's so desperate to see him play. I think sometimes you start looking for a reason why he's not playing, and you sort of instantly say, right, okay, that's him there. That's Fornals, so that's the reason Ben Rama's not in the team. So, funny enough, you then get the old confirmation bias, which we're all guilty of at least one thing in our lives. Might not even be football. Then you start looking at Fornals. You want Ben Rama in the team. Every time Fornals does something wrong, that's it. That's right there. That's why I want Ben Rama in the team. And you tend to start looking at what he does wrong rather than what he does right. So I think those are the two reasons. But I do think it's very subconscious. I don't think there's any malice in it. I think everybody appreciates the work rate that Fornals gives.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the Ben Rama thing. If we didn't have Ben Rama, I don't think there'd be as many calls to say, oh, get him out and get Lanzini in, get him out, get Yarmolenko in. I think it's just because people are excited to see Saeed Ben Rama, which is understandable. He's an entertainer, he's a new signing, he's a big signing as well. If we signed Josh King instead of Ben Rama, I don't think there'd be people banging the table saying, I want to see King in over Pablo Fornals. I think people say, hang on a minute, no, we're sticking with Fornals. I think he's done alright this season. I think people just want to see a bit more adventure, a bit more trickery, and that's what he brings. It's difficult. I can understand it. I can understand both sides of the argument. The problem for me is everybody looks at it as black and white, and I think sometimes actually Fornals will be best suited for some games, and I think Ben Rama will be better suited for other games. Whereas we seem to go along with one plan suits all game at the minute, and that's my main thing with David Moyes at the minute. I think, like I said, we've played Liverpool away and Fulham at home with this exact same team, how you can approach those two those two fixtures with the exact same. Like I said, I thought Fornals' role was different in the Fulham game. I do generally think Fornals was, when I watched it, I thought he was in a different position. I've seen one half of the interview. By the way, this is really strange. There are sometimes in life you see something and you think, I don't get that. I read Fornals has had an interview on the official site. I assume the other part went up today. I read part 1 of 2 yesterday.
It did,
on the official website. So I was reading it. Now, he spoke, my point is, he was speaking about how he's played in different positions and sometimes we go 2 up front. I thought, right, okay, that's almost confirmed what I thought I saw. But at the bottom of it, it says part 2 of our interview with Pablo Fornals will be up. The only place you can read it is here on WHUFC.com, our exclusive interview. I thought, he's your player. You're talking about it as if it's some sort of scoop, like you've got like some big thing. He literally works for you. That'd be like me.
And the word exclusive no longer means anything because of the internet. Because it may well be exclusive, but the moment you put it up, somebody else is going to copy and paste it and put it on their site. So actually, having the exclusive means what? Seconds? Minutes? There's no value to it. So, yeah, I do wonder why. But, look, they're trying to get some news out there. I do think, I often look at West Ham and think, you should be using... I just know if us, I'm Hammer's chat, were given access to those players, we'd be doing very different things to what West Ham do. But there you go. I don't think they always utilise the players as best as they could.
Alan Wall says, can you remember the name of your first pair of football boots?
They were Diodora. I can't remember what they were.
Gonzo's had about 10 studs on them.
I'd say, do you know what? I actually think my first set of football boots were hand-me-downs. Actually, they were Diodora. They were from they were from Christopher Burns. Christopher Burns is former football boots, and funnily enough, my next pair of football boots were hand-me-downs as well from somebody, and this is in the very early 80s. Were from somebody who was on went to play for Dagenham afterwards, but he was on West Ham's academy. A player called Andrew Pesk. He was at West Ham's academy. Yeah, didn't quite make it at West Ham. Went and played for so there you go. Those are my football. But Diodora.
I don't remember my first ones. I remember having the white Lotto ones when Di Canio was kicking around at West Ham. I remember those white Lotto ones, and I think did Kappa produce football boots?
They did.
I think I had a pair of Kappa football boots as well. For some reason, I can't remember what they look like. For some reason, I remember having Kappa ones because as a child, I was fascinated by the fact that it was a naked woman's body on one half of the logo.
Two naked women's bodies.
There was a man and a woman
pressing up against each other. Oh well, maybe I've read too much into it.
You've got a special pair of Kappa there.
Yeah.
You've got
they're very erotic. Yeah, absolutely. I've got Kappa thong, Kappa t-shirt, Kappa shoes. Oh, I'm Kappa out.
You were browsing Kappa's Black Friday sale in the bath earlier.
It's that logo, the two ladies rubbing up against each other. I can't. It's too much for an old man to bear.
Kale said he had predators.
Well, Cal's young.
Yeah, Kale had predators. I mean, to be fair, I think Jimmy Savile should stay away from Kale, but
no. I don't know whether that's Jimmy Savile or Brian Clough. It doesn't matter. Not that one of them is completely innocent.
Someone, Crazy Cam 2004. I think this is a new subscriber to the channel because Crazy Cam says, "What's your favourite brand of tea bag?" Now, to switch this up, Gonzo's going to tell you my favourite brand of tea bag, and I'm going to tell you his. Because believe it or not, we do get this question quite often.
You just like a PG tip.
Yeah, and yours, I want to say yours is Yorkshire. I know it's Yorkshire, but I think it's gold as well. I think there's the gold.
Absolutely, absolutely right. The golden Yorkshire tea bag.
Yeah, see, that's how often we get asked that question. So
you can ask the biscuits if you want.
So welcome, new subscriber, Crazy Cam. Don't go anywhere, but don't ask that question.
What have I tuned into?
I felt sorry because
erotic Kappa logos, tea and biscuits. What sort of a football podcast is this?
He's asked the question a lot. I think he's determined to find out our favourite brand of.
There you go.
Cathal says, Blur or Oasis. I think we know Geo's answer.
Yeah, no, I love Oasis as well. I don't go on about it. I don't like still Joe Thunder, but I used to love Oasis. In fact, I do believe that Wonderwall was the first. No, Live Forever was the first song I learned to play on the guitar.
Right, hang on a minute.
I love
I'm
Oasis.
gonna go drop a like on this video. Because of that, I'm waiting to drop a like on this video.
Yeah. But no, they are better than Blur. Blur. I actually think Damon Albarn's best work was when he did Gorillaz. I thought that was very
Crazy
good.
Count.
But yeah, Oasis was significantly better.
Crazy Count said, not really new. I was on the Man City preview and Gonzo thought my name was a camera.
What's his name?
Crazy Count 2004.
That's right. That's the best of all the cams. There you go. Crazy Cam.
Here we go. I like these kind of questions. This is for more of our generic podcast ones, but I do like these ones. Irish Tommy says, if you could bring back one store that is closed down, which one would you bring back?
Oh, Tommy, you cheeky. What's it?
It's not that cheeky. It's just.
No, I like it. I like. Tommy came on the thing, didn't he? Tommy came on the phone in. Is that Tommy?
Yeah, that's like that Tommy. Yeah.
I like Tommy. Didn't I? It's easy to say Woolworths, but why would I go to Woolworths? I don't know. I quite liked and I quite miss our price. I quite miss going into a record shop. I know you can download everything, but I actually quite liked owning something. It didn't necessarily have to be a record. I didn't mind it when they turned to whether it's tapes or DVDs. I quite liked going and buying, like Geo, I like my music, and actually owning it, going and buying the album, and actually having the CD or the record in your hand and looking at the cover and then actually putting the CD on or putting the record in and looking at it. And actually, I quite enjoyed going up and down here and picking and choosing. I liked it. Not everything. Look, internet's made a lot of things a lot easier. I liked record shops. I really did. So I'd probably be our price.
Yeah.
I reckon I might know what you're going to choose.
I don't know the name of the shop, but I agree with your concept actually of a music store and going down and getting excited because a certain single come out, an album come out. You had to go down that day. For me, it would have been my school. I would have had to go down during school because the music shop here was gone by the time I'd left school and that. But yeah, I remember that excitement and that physical thing you get now. Nowadays, you just get up a new songs, like you go into Spotify and you search it and it's there for you. You know, your YouTube notification comes through. Such and such artist has uploaded this video. You think, have a dab on that, and then just play within seconds. It's free as well. You don't even pay for you pay for Spotify, but you can now listen to everything and stuff. For me, there used to be a shop, and I don't know if I assume it was just a one-off independent store rather than a chain. It was called the Jolly Giant, and it was a toy shop. It was a massive toy shop in Aberdeen, and we only got taken there once a year, conveniently about 2 months before Christmas, to have a look around. And that was it. We never got to buy anything. And then it's obviously Christmas Day come around and the stuff you've picked out.
That'll do. Hey, you don't, you know.
Jolly Giant stuff would be there on Christmas Day. Magic, innit? Santa shops and Jolly Giant up the road.
Ah, you know,
all
it's
places
magical stuff, man. Magical stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Woolworths, but like you said, that was it's a tap-in.
It was a generic. It was a generic shop. At crikey, when you go to Woolworths, you could buy a dressing gown in Woolworths. You could buy a TV in Woolworths. You could buy anything in Woolworths. Well, do you know what? You can do that.
AB10. I miss AB10. That was a clothes shop. I like that. I used to go into AB10 quite a lot. 'Cause they had like the clothes I wear, like Fred Perry and all that. They had all those clothes. It's gone now. There's only one shop. The whole of Aberdeen, there's only one store I can go to for clothes.
Well, I mean, but actually, they say that. This is something I'd like to deal with actually on the other podcast, because the death of the high street, which was on life support anyway, and this has just killed it. All this recent COVID stuff. But I was just thinking of Blockbuster as well, which I know is something that is close to your heart as well. Again, that was the same thing as the record shop. I know, yeah, we got all these films. I've got them here. It's fine, but there was something about. I was going to say, it's actually being sent out to go and find usually I'd be very unpopular. I'd come back with the wrong one. But you'd go and get three. You could go and get 3 films, which is, I don't know, 3 films over 5 nights. I liked it. I think I just like having something tangible in my hand.
Yeah. Ryan's confirming there was a Jolly Giant in Edinburgh, so it wasn't just one. Some good shouts coming in here. Actually, people seem to like this question. There was I've missed it. someone was saying Wimpy, but he's been corrected that Wimpy's still around. There's just not that much anymore.
They are.
JJB Sports, someone's put that up. That's gone recently as well. There was one someone put up. I thought, oh yeah, I remember that shop.
It was a bloody good question, original question. To be fair, it was Tommy, wasn't it? Who asked that? It was
it's-
a really. I think we like. Look, I think we like shop. We like the convenience of shopping at the internet, but we like shops. I think there's something inherently human about going in and actually going and picking something up, paying for it, and coming away with it. It's
It was a reward for your hard work, wasn't it? You
yeah,
were getting something in return for your money. Nowadays, you don't really get much for your money. It comes out of your account. You don't even notice it goes out. You forget about it.
I used to go to a place called Beatty's, which was in Romford, and I wonder if there's anyone watching this now who used to do the same thing. I used to go and buy radio-controlled cars, and the thing is, it used to take me ages. So I used to go and work up in Whitechapel. I used to work at Spitalfields Market early in the morning. This was when I was really young, and then I used to work and I used to go and work and do a couple of hours at Whitechapel Market. I used to go back, and then I'd save up, and I'd save up for 2 or 3 months. Then we'd go to Beatty's, we'd buy the radio-controlled car, but it would all be in parts. You have to solder it and put it all together. And I think from the moment me deciding I wanted a radio-controlled car to actually me crashing it into my next-door neighbour's wall, there'd probably be 4 or 5 months in between. There was a real period of sort of saving and looking forward to it and stuff like that. It felt like forever at the time, but I enjoyed it. I loved going to that shop. It was a real special occasion, you know.
Right, back to West Ham question, then we'll start wrapping this one up. That creepy pasta guy, he's verified on here. He must have a big page. He's got a tick. The creepy pasta guy.
He's got a tick.
Don't know.
Creepy pasta guy.
The creepy pasta guy's got a tick next to him.
Who's the creepy pasta guy? My memory going or what? What's the relevance of a creepy pasta
I don't know how
guy?
you click on him. I don't think I can see his channel. Anyway, he says...
Is there someone in our chat?
Yeah, and he says Slaven Bilic with Moyes' team or Moyes with Bilic's team.
Oh, crikey. I don't think I'd want to see... Oh. Payet was just a massive thing. I think if you give Bilic Moyes' team, I think we're getting worse results. I think if you give Moyes Bilic's team, I think maybe he ain't playing Payet.
Yeah, you won't see that Dimitri Payet.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm going to say Bilic with Moyes' team. I agree, though. I do think you'll see worse results, but I think you'll see more goals. I think you will. Tell you what, I think you'll see a £45 million Sebastian Haller.
That's true.
I do think you will. I mean, I think you'll see I think you'll see Alan Creswell of last year, and I think there'll be far too much flaws, and we'll concede 2 goals a game. But I do think we'd see a better Sebastian Haller. I think he would flourish under it, and I think Declan Rice would actually do all right under Slav as well in that defensive midfield role.
Well,
right, 1 or 2 more, then we're going to disappear. Right, 1 or 2 more. Mitchell, can a Scouser be a patron? Anyone can be a patron. Links in the description. Check it.
can a Scouser be a patron?
Ollie.
No, we got a block. We got this block, right? It all says no Scousers, no Mancunians, no Joy. It's amazing. The software is amazing. We ruled now. Of course, everyone's welcome. Crikey. Alvin Martin was a Scouser, for goodness sake. There's no one more West Ham than Alvin Martin.
Ollie said, what players were we linked with that we didn't sign but you really wish we had? You're not allowed Neymar. Not allowed those ones. Let's keep it realistic.
I don't like Neymar.
All right, okay, but I'm pretty sure you'd have him at West Ham.
I don't like him. He annoys me. His face annoys me. He's rolling around annoys me. I don't like him. I do not like Neymar at all. Clarence Seedorf. I can't remember when we were linked to him. We were linked to him once. Oh, what a player. What an absolute player. Quite frankly, I'll take Alex Song back at the moment. Never mind Clarence Seedorf. But yeah. I mean, Seedorf was just such a quality player. There is one other. There's a good striker who I'm. Someone. You know, we were in at one point. I can't remember who, for Lewandowski when he was little.
Yeah, when he was, before he made it. Yeah,
when he was an embryo. Yeah, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
We had Shevchenko as well, didn't we? Harry Redknapp turned him down.
Yeah, it's quite right. So yeah. The thing is, every manager has turned someone down. I think it wasn't Ibrahimovic at Arsenal and stuff like that. Every manager has got a tail because it's actually a small world, isn't it? Football. So and every fan likes to whack every manager with the you missed out on his player stick. But yeah.
I'll keep it recent. Fofana, the centre back, has just gone to Leicester. He's only played a handful of games at Leicester, but crikey, that boy looks class. He really does. When you just watch a player, you think straight away you can be like, he's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it. And Fofana, when I watch Leicester with Fofana, I'm very much looking at him thinking that boy's. I can see now why clubs were willing to spend 20 million on him, despite the fact he'd only played 19 games in the first team in France.
Would you rather we got him than Ben Rama?
Yes. I think Fofana's ceiling is possibly greater, and I think it's difficult to explain. I think he would suit us more as well. I'm still not convinced Ben Rama is going to be a raving success under David Moyes. I think he'll do well, but if anything, that penalty he conceded shows why Ben Rama almost shouldn't be back defending. You should be saying, like, you just do the stuff in the final third, come back into the middle third, but the defensive work, just leave it to those that can defend, kind of thing. But he's back grafting, trying hard, because that's what he's been told to do, and understandably so. But he can't do it. Because
do you think Bilic would have played Ben Rama and Payet in the same team?
100%. Bilic would have played 10 attacking midfielders if he got away with it. He would just think, I'll just win 19-18, it's fine. He just didn't really think much about defence, did he? He just thought, just get every attacker on pitch. If we went a goal down, he went mental with subs. Within a minute, he'd be like, Sacco, Valencia, over you come. Just get on the pitch. Yeah. You could finish the game with 4 strikers under Bilic. I always quite liked going 2-0 down the slab because you knew he would just chuck on player after player after player and go on and try and make it 2-3-2. It was fun. But anyway, right, last question. This is definitely the last question. Again, it's Cathal again. Apologies for saying your name wrong. To be fair, Foles asked a very similar question. Foles says, favourite player on loan at West Ham, and Cathal saying, which loan players did you fall in love with and wish we kept? Maybe Cathal's just saw Foles' question and stole it a little bit, actually.
Yeah, you get some naughtiness in the chat. Funny enough, without thinking too much about it, I think I might have already just mentioned him about 5 minutes ago. I really liked Alex Song. I know you did as well, Geo. I thought Alex Song was a tremendous footballer. I don't think he got the best out of him. I just don't think he was utilised correctly. I think he first came in under Sam. Really bright, clever footballer. Passing range was just a footballer, a pure footballer. Complete control of the ball, long and short range of passing, elegant on the ball. I just love those players. That was a loan signing I wish should have sort of worked out.
Yeah, I go with that. I think. At the time, Carl Jenkinson, I know he'd come back and he was injured, blah, 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 but after his first season, I would have happily spent 10 million on that right back. I quite like Yao Mario when he was here, for his little stint under Moyes. I thought he was good as well. Don't know, loans are a funny one. There's not many. Lanzini. He was on loan. Yes, I'm having that. Yeah, so check. I'm stealing them ones. To be fair, Ollie's just said Tevez as well, legal or not. It was a loan. So yeah, but it's a Song. I don't think you can beat Song. I think he was just. I remember that Man City game. Him and Mark Noble ran the midfield against Yaya Toure. It was just footballing porn to watch. Them two play football together was just unbelievable, and it's just such a shame it never. Where is he now? Song. He still played football.
He's still playing. He is still playing, because I saw his name mentioned the other day.
Is he in Turkey? No, I can't. I think he ended up there at one point.
Maybe, not sure.
Everyone ends up there. I don't know.
Particularly at Christmas.
I don't know if GWH UFC in the live chat's a bit behind, but he just put up saying Quavers or crisps.
What tea bag do you like?
He just put Quavers or crisps. So he's either really behind or he's absolutely fuming with what you've said earlier.
He's triggered. They call it triggered, don't they? I got the Quavers, not a crisp. What's he saying?
He's just ignored everything we've spoken about in between because he can't get over.
Never mind all that others. You're right. Never mind all
And
that
I
other
have
stuff.
to say, I agree with him. You completely dissed the Quavers. Unacceptable.
He might be my troll.
But anyway, are you ready? Are you ready to go? You ready to wrap this up?
I'm ready to go, mate. I'm ready to go. I need something to
Thank you for joining us. Massive thank you again to James. If you saw the clip,
Cheers,
still an unbelievable little present, to be honest with you. It's going to help us out both massively for different uses and stuff. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're around here. If you want to become a patron or you're not sure, you want to know more and you don't make sense of it, feel free to email us, hammerschat@gmail.com. Got a couple of giveaways coming up as well, so keep your eyes out for that. All that good stuff. And Gonzo, I shall see you for the Sheffield United preview in a couple of nights.
Looking forward to. Was that Friday night we're doing that? Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. I don't mind. We'll discuss
Thursday or
it.
Friday, Sunday kick off for it. So yeah, stay tuned.
Happy days. Catch you in a bit. Ta-ra!